Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, a very interesting and very exciting, in my opinion, announcement from the Warships development blog. A link to it will be in the description down below if you want to read along as I read aloud to you guys. Not a very long one, but certainly a lot to talk about afterward. So, go ahead. Link is in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself, which I do encourage you to do. I'll throw up any relevant artwork or graphics that need to be put up. Anyway, let's go ahead and read on through this. So, ST, Axis versus Allies. In the near future, we will conduct a closed test for a new battle type inspired by real-world naval battles. In the new Axis versus Allies battles, you will be able to fight only in ships that were completed in reality and in teams that are composed depending on each ship's nationality. Rules. Depending on the ship picked, a player will get into one of two teams. Axis, Italian, Germans, and Japanese ships. Allies, American, British, French, Soviet, European, and Pan-Asian ships. The battles will be conducted in a 12v12 format on Tier 8 ships. Only ships that were built in reality, as well as their in-game counterparts, such as Black, ARP, Azure Lane ships, and etc., are allowed to enter. If you dislike the appearance of camouflages of counterpart ships, you can switch off their display using a special filter in the port. List of allowed ships. Let's take a peek at this. So the Axis, we get Akazuki, Kagoro, Asashio, and Asashio B, Mogami, Atago B, Shokaku, Kaga B, Zerlane, Yukikaze, ARP Takeo, ARP Maya, Germany, Z23, Z35, Admiral Hipper, Prince Eugen, Tirpitz and Tirpitz B, Italy, Roma, Vittorio Veneto, and AL Littorio, so Zerlane Littorio. Alright, did they not include the... Oh yeah, because it wasn't completed in real life. I was thinking about the God, what's the Tier 8 Japanese battleship? Oh, the Amagi, yeah, because she was not completed, so... Sad Panda. Not a lot of no battleships for the Japanese. So it's like the Germans are going to be carrying the most of the heavy hitters along with the Italians. That's interesting. All right, so the Allies. God, that's a big list. Oh my God, that's so funny. So the Soviet Union literally only has 3 ships. That's hilarious in my opinion. All right, so USA, the Benson, the Kidd, the Baltimore, the Cleveland, the Wichita, North Carolina, Massachusetts, and of course Massachusetts Black, Alabama and its freaking 4 variants, Lexington, Saipan, Enterprise, oh God, and Azure Lane, Montpelier. UK, Lightning, Cossack B, Edinburgh, Belfast 43, Vanguard, Implacable, and Indomitable. And the Soviet using the Ognivoy, the Chappie, and the Mikhail Kutuzov. French, the Lee Fantastique, the Le Terrible, and the Richelieu. Pan-Asians are the Loyang, the Silawangi, the Hisyang, Finyang, and Iriand. And for Europe, you get the Orkan and the Oland. Alright. You can participate in Axis versus Allies battles in a division, but if ships corresponding to both historical teams are picked, you won't be able to go into battle. So you can't go into battle with a Bismarck and a Massachusetts. Teams won't necessarily mirror each other in all ship types, with the exception of aircraft carriers. Their number in each team will be equal and strictly fixed. No more than 1 per team. The difference in the number of other ship types will be no more than 1. If the waiting time spent by the first player in the queue exceeds 3 minutes, teams might be filled with bots with improved AI, mastered commander skills, and mounted camouflages and signals. Please note that all information in the development blog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information will be published on our game's website. So guys, I am super excited about this. This is cool. I like this idea. I really like it. Only historical ships that were really built will be allowed to enter into battle, and it's going to be Axis versus Allies. Now, there are some balancing issues because they don't have any radar on the Axis teams, like, at all. But they got the hydro advantage for sure. And of course, for ships like Enterprise being allowed on the Allies side when the Axis only have 2 aircraft carriers, was the Kaga, yeah, the Kaga and the Shokaku, and that's it. I'm surprised they didn't include the Graf Zeppelin. I know it was like 99% done and not really finished, but it would have been, it was built, it was almost finished. But I guess if you're going by a strict finished, put into service qualifier, then yeah, it doesn't qualify. Not like it would be a big help to them anyway, because it is a Graf Zeppelin. Yeah. But anyway, very cool idea. Again, some balancing issues are going to crop up, I'm sure, but I think the vast majority of players will be okay with doing that because of the concept. And the people that are going to be going into this battle type too are going to know what they're getting into. You hardcore history buffs. I mean, this is very cool. And it sounds like, how they word it. It's going to be inspired by real-world naval battles. So I wonder if they're going to pick out specific battles and try to. But again, there was no really, major capital ship engagement in World War II. There were some, but I mean, with just Tier 8 ships, I'm not sure how well you can sync that up. You know what I'm saying? Like with Taffy 3, for instance. One Yami and a bunch of Japanese DDs and cruisers against a Fletcher and 2 DD escorts that aren't even in the game and a bunch of Tier 6 aircraft carriers. You can't really do that in random battles. But the overall idea is very cool. And this is kind of it's exactly like what happens in War Thunder. There's nation-based teams and just about everything, unless matchmaking War Thunder just gets a little bit drunk. But this is a very cool idea. I like it a lot. I hope, and this is the big thing, the big grain of salt to take with this is that a lot of times these announced game modes through the dev blog, they get announced and unfortunately they never see the light of day. Like with Convoy Escort, which would have been a completely new battle type where you would have to protect a convoy. One team would protect the convoy, the other team would be trying to sink the convoy, kind of like an Overwatch, escort the objective type of gameplay. That was announced. I was really excited about that, but I don't think that ever saw even closed testing, because we never heard anything about it again. And the same thing with a submarine game mode too, where it was kind of like Convoy Escort, but you would have submarines trying to sink the convoy and the Allied ships, and the Allied ships could respawn after they got sunk, but the submarines couldn't respawn. So that was something that was very cool too, that unfortunately didn't go anywhere. Also, the destructible environment, being able to shoot through icebergs and stuff, that got shown off. We even got videos of that, but it hasn't gone anywhere. I get these things take time, but I really don't want this to be one of those things where it takes time for it to come out. And, where they say it takes time and then we just never hear about it again. Because this is a really cool idea. Again, having ships that were only built being able to go into battle. And this is just at Tier 8. You can't really do it at Tier 10 too much. But I guess they figured Tier 8 and Tier 8, Tier 7, Tier 6 have most of the ships that were really made. You could probably stretch it to Tier 9 and 10 and include some of the high tier cruisers, some of the high tier destroyers, and Yami. Really, and that's it. Oh, and the midway. But other than that, it's kind of sketchy. And that might have also been why they were testing out the asymmetric battles, where they're trying to see, okay, if we put high tier ships on one side and a bunch of low tier ships on the other side, could we potentially get away with it? Something like this, maybe a Yami and a couple other high tier real historical ships on the Axis side that really got made, versus a bunch of, low tier Allied ships that really got made, or vice versa, or something like that. But 12v12 historical battles based upon real world naval battles. This is, again, such a cool concept. I'm going to say it 4 times, but it's a really cool concept. I'm really on board with the idea, and I hope this sees the light of day. So, now, having the bots fill in the empty spaces, bot AI has gotten better over the years, but still, most of the time, the bots just unga bunga into the enemy. Now, they said improved AI, so maybe they're cooking up something that we don't know, or maybe it's improved AI, like it doesn't completely unga bunga at once, and maybe it tries to stay at range. But the Master Commander skills and camouflage, they didn't say modules though. I would assume they'd be equipped with modules. Most of the time, the bots that you fight in like co-op and like low tier, they don't have any commander skills mounted. They don't have any modules applied either, and of course, they don't have any camouflage. So giving them commander skills and camouflages and modules on their ships might help even it out a little bit, but still, a situation where, your bots rushing and dying the first 2 minutes isn't going to be fun for the team that has the side made up of bots. But if this does come out, this, in my opinion, will be an excellent addition to the game and give the history buffs something to really, really, really enjoy and look forward to, and really appease that group of players that are always complaining about the paper ships that are insanely overpowered and such, a way to escape. And I'm assuming they'll add submarines into this too, so you won't be able to escape the submarines. But this is also a somewhat decent way to escape carriers. I mean, there's only a handful of carriers allowed, but one of those carriers is Enterprise, which that's going to be a balancing problem. Oh boy, only one team being able to have an Enterprise, which is the Allies. Like, whoo, man, that's going to be rough. I don't envy them trying to balance that thing out. Anyway, guys, that's what I think about this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way now to 25,000 subs. We just passed 22,800 a few days ago, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.